Coaches and affiliate owners, we are super excited to launch our FitFilliate Founders League. It is hosted over on the School platform, and you'll find a link in the show notes or a link in our bio over on Instagram. This is a group where there will be high-level conversation, high-level thinking, critical thinking, creative thinking, a little bit of fun, but the end game is everybody is helping everybody else be better. So I'll see you over there. And welcome back to our next episode of the FitFilliate Podcast. Back with the regular band. We don't have a special guest today, but I guess that Andrew and Tony do count as my
I think we're special guests, so thanks for shitting on that parade, Lisa.
You are special. Can we just put a full stop there?
My mom says.
How are you, gentlemen?
I'm great. How are you?
All the better for being in this room. Oh, Andrew's ready. He's pumped. He's like, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm ready.
I got all the bandwidth right now, though, because this is the first time I think in history I haven't come from multiple client coaching calls to the podcast. So I'm just fresh, caffeinated. I'm unbothered.
Oh, you're unbothered. Oh,
yes,
it's a shame
very
about
demure.
It's now I just need Andrew to mention Bitcoin, and we've got the full set today. Thank you.
I mean, I watch it. You know, there's nothing much. It's all election time. It's all circus. It's all circus.
We're not talking about that either. So anyway, let's get on to the topic that I want to talk about today because it's all about me. And so after this long, I think I've earned that. What I want to talk about today was belief over coaching, which for those playing along at home, what we want to dig into is how our coaching emphasizes helping clients find their own solutions rather than just simply giving them a list of stuff to do, and the importance of them developing their self-belief in achieving their own success, again, rather than ticking off an arbitrary list. And go.
Okay.
I mean, you don't want to just talk about like neurobiology or psychological mechanistics or something that's some more simple than this conversation, but
I think this is important. I think it is time because you want to know what's funny is before FitFilliate, I genuinely would consider you guys my friends, and I think so. I'm not like throwing. So what really attracted me to FitFilliate, to everything, was at its core the difference between coaching and training. It's something so simple that had never been presented to me in that light. Now, I'm actually going to present something different, Lisa. I don't know if there's such thing as coaching. I think when they hire you, I think it's genuine friendship, because all the things that we describe are friendship. We're helping you find your way. Now, is it possible to be, this is a question I put back on you. Is it possible to be a good coach to a human being if you don't like them? And I got to believe the answer is no, right? Because you guys trade client, or you say, hey, this client is not right for me. And you're open about that. So, I mean, like go ahead.
One of the first yardsticks when people first approach us to work with this is,
wait a second. Do you guys use yards in Australia?
We do when we play golf, yes.
Carry on.
Yards and feet and inches for golf. But anywho, moving along. One of the first things that when people come through, because it's not just hey, I want to work with you, and we open the gates and let you in. Like, part of that criteria is, do we want to sit down and have a beer with you? Could we sit and have a chat and, just hang out and be good humans and cool humans? If that doesn't happen, then you're not coming into the gate. And it has to be able and also that we can, the other marker is that, can I believe in you and your project? And once we believe in you, as Tony has said before, you're screwed, because we will be relentless until you can get that belief yourself. So borrow it off us, because we've got plenty of it in you. Otherwise, we wouldn't invest in a coaching relationship, which, right, if you don't connect with the person is quite difficult. And that's the difference. You can train anyone to do anything. Like my dog is an asshole, but I can train her to do anything. But can I coach her at times when she's being difficult? No. So to your point, Andrew, I agree. I mean, we're not in the sense of besties, but you've got to be able to hang out and want the best for that person. And
I think that there's a lot of truth to that. Not to cut you off, Lisa, but to actually cut you off. Just it's always fun. Not to cut you off, I'll literally cut you off. But here we go now. Well, there's a couple of things about it. One, you're sort of right, Andrew, and I do agree with you on there. And I'm glad you brought it up because I think this conversation, absent of the coach trainer part of it, it's that whole personal relationship thing that is so prevalent inside the space, not only in CrossFit affiliates, but like just in any of the we'll call them the directional intervention industry, right? Trainers, coaches, teachers, etc. No doubt about it. When you essentially spend a lot of time with somebody, I think the cornerstone, no doubt, would have to be that you should probably enjoy that person to some degree. Although I would argue that it's not entirely that necessary because Lisa kind of just touched on it. Not to say that like you should hate them, because that definitely doesn't make a lot of sense. But when I'm screening new candidates for FitFilliate, just the same as a gym or otherwise, is the thing I'm searching for, seeking for, is what she just said, which is potentially absent of how I feel about you, or absent of your current situation, or absent of anything you really said to me, can I believe in you, right? And the answer to that, more often than not, and this might upset some people, is no. I would say the average amount of people in the specific conversation that I'm having with them, my ability to believe in their ability to do the thing that I need them to do is pretty low. And that they would like to just either A, get out of pain, or B, get the answers to the test, or C, copy somebody else's success. If they're after that, I'm not here to say that that's not the route for them. I'm just here to say that it's probably not going to work. And if for that reason, you're not asking to believe in yourself, you're asking to believe in other people. And so if the thing you're asking me for is to help you or give you other people to believe in, then what you're asking me to do is not believe in your ability to solve your own problem, because coaching is purely the transfer of belief. And really at the core of that is the one central sort of truth of coaching and advice, right? Because it's information or advice in general is not inherently bad. It's just that it's flawed, because advice comes with an assumption that the receiver of said advice or needed advice is incapable of solving their own problem, which sometimes may be true. But in the case of business, in the case of coaching or bringing you on as a coaching client, that can't be true. Because if I don't believe you're capable of solving your own problem, then if I take you on as a client, we have an ethical dilemma, right? Because now I've agreed to take you on in exchange, just take your money.
Take your money, yes.
Teach you something, right? And I could solve this problem and give you something else to believe in. And that is where I think the issue arises in a lot of client coach relationships inside affiliates, inside the industry, inside this intervention space, is that they're not coaches. And this is not about coaching being better than training, or training being different from coaching, or better than coaching, or otherwise. It's just that they require very specific partnerships, right? Training and teaching is exactly that. It's you come to me, in exchange, I will teach you what I know. I will provide for you the knowledge that I have acquired over the time that I've acquired it. And we will be done when I've exhausted those resources, period. That's worth some money, right? Unfortunately, in the information age, it's worth much, much, much less, because I can Google anything and ChatGPT will tell me everything you know. On the other side of coaching, it has nothing to do with I'm going to teach you, train you, or otherwise. There might be incidences where some education must be conveyed or communicated, but the vast majority, the bulk of coaching is about transferring the belief that I have in you back to you, right? And a lot of that in the fitness space looks like, we know that you know that squatting below parallel is basic human anatomy. The question is, why can't you squat below parallel? Because I believe you to be able to. And you might have all these reasons as to like knees, back, surgery, pain. I heard, I learned, I was told. And it's my job to say, listen, I believe you can squat below parallel. Do you believe that that's possible? Absent of what you know, the answer is yes. So let's remove those barriers, right? Like that's a very simplistic sort of example, but in business, it's the same thing, right? If we know where we're trying to get to, and you've got yourself into business, and you believe in, at some point you believed in yourself enough to be like, I'll sign the lease, I'll sign the contract, I'll do the thing, then you've also at one point believed in yourself. Now, naturally, most of us, right after that, get kicked right in the face, and we lose that belief quickly. We're like, oh my God, I have no idea what I'm doing. Right? And then the doubt stacks up, the certainty diminishes, and then in exchange, instead of going to find more belief, we partner instead with information. Right? We start going to look for, I must need more answers. And then this is the course and the path of so many business owners, not just affiliate owners. And they go looking for information, advice, conversations, ideas, etc. And that's a well-intended sort of pursuit, except for that the guarantee that will come out of that is that the business you would end up with would be radically different than the business you set out to do when you once believed in yourself and you lost belief in yourself. This same example you see happen all the time in fitness, where people start, like, I believe that I can do this, I'm going to get in, and they start to plateau, they start to fatigue, and what do? They start looking around for more inspiration. They start following someone else's program or trying to do this thing or do that thing. And as coaches, we know it's a fool's errand. Right? You're like, this road is not going to lead you there, right? Like, and so it's our job as coaches to intervene in that. And the same thing happens in business. So for us, it's kind of a swan song sort of conversation, but that was the cathedral thinking that kind of came out of this for us. Is that, yeah, sure, I want to come in and immediately be able to make an impact and intervene and help affiliate owners simplify their system. But the real thing that I wanted to go for was essentially changing the way everybody views coaching and training, okay? And in the long term.
I think that, when we talk about the training versus coaching thing, is quite often when someone, it becomes about ego as well, because when someone comes to you and goes, I want the answer, it's like, I can save that person. I'm going to give them that information. And then, so you feel like, all the trainers and the gurus feel like, well, no one could do it without me. And that's how they bank on the relationship continuing, because then if they don't have me, then they don't have the answers and they won't be able to continue. So this relationship's going to continue. I'm going to keep making money. Versus, Andrew's popping in and out, versus, that coaching relationship, which is, hey, when you can fly and you believe that you can fly, you can leave that nest.
Totally.
And that's okay. It shouldn't be, which is why I think it makes it more valuable in that, and the way that we operate with, here's your project.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to believe in you until you believe in you.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I'm thinking, I think back to my best teachers in school. The element of coaching they had. You know what I mean? Like when you really think back to the teachers who changed your life and the way they made you feel and believe in yourself. So I think that just this seems dumb, but the vernacular is throwing people off because it like wires something to our brain of what we should and shouldn't do. And that's why I thought about that friendship piece in Element is because I truly can't be a good coach to you. And like Tony said, perfect, if I don't believe in you, because there's an ethical dilemma. But I also look at it in terms of Lisa's in a relationship. Apparently Tony is too. We talk all the time, never talk about it. I just barely know. I bring up things like this all the time in marriage. You're 3 sentences away from completely ruining everything. If you really are, like, think of the hardest time where you were the most, and you're 3 sentences away. And I think that that's very true when I'm talking to affiliate owners. I need more leads. And I literally can get there. 3 to 5 questions I normally can get. Why do you need more leads?
Yeah.
You need more money. Why do you need more money? Well, I'm behind on all my bills. Personal or business? Both. Why are you behind on your personal bills? Well, because do you want to go over your personal bills? Well, no, that's, it's like we stop. I'm 5 questions in, all of a sudden they realize that they're trying to impress their neighbor and to do X, Y, Z. And that, then 5 questions later, it's like, well, my parents did that. It's like, dude. And people are always like, why did I have to get here? I'm like, because that's what I want to do for you. If I like you and I'm willing to ask you enough of those questions, that means that I believe in you. And I kind of want to coach you a little bit for a second. So don't think it's ever a nosy thing. It's the truth. There's nothing more fun than sitting and doing that with a human being.
And holding the space and watching them have that moment where they realize, oh, shit, it's me. And everywhere I go, there I am, that moment. And, in my coaching relationship I've had with Tony, and, many of those topics have wound up on this podcast and I've been dragged on across the gravel. But I've had so many times, as far advanced as I am into the relationship, still there are times when you're like, oh, yeah, that's right, I'm doing that thing again. And it's someone holding space. And I talk about this a lot, is that someone who will genuinely hold the space for that difficult, uncomfortable conversation, they're the most powerful relationships you can have.
I mean, so kind of going back to that initial distinction of belief, right? And so once bringing on somebody who you don't believe in, the other option is that, like, well, if I don't believe in you, I could teach you, I could train you, and I could probably eventually believe in you one day. And again, there's not necessarily anything wrong with that. But if we reframe this through the lens of what an affiliate owner faces, right? The vast majority of what they seek to understand about what they do, they think is about their ability to disseminate information that they've collected along the way. And it's really not that, right? And this is where we see so much turmoil, stress, and struggle inside the affiliate model, because the thing that they want to charge for, which is their information, their knowledge, the thing that they think that they own and possess, is not really actually worth that much money. It's the application of that thing that's worth so much money. And they don't really focus on that part of it, because back to Andrew's point, to bring this around full circle, is that the point that the thing that they do that is uniquely valuable, the thing that is worth so much money, is coaching. But coaching is not teaching and it's not training. And if we don't distinguish those two things, it's not just about highlighting what makes FitFilliate different in the space. It's that everything that we do at FitFilliate is meant to be stolen, meaning, obviously take the whole model, replicate it, use it. And part of that is understanding, maybe it's not about how much information they have to sell me, right? It's about their ability to pull forth good ideas and inspiration from me, right? The same thing is true of you as an affiliate owner. It's your ability to sit with a person, hold the space, have the conversation, Andrew's point, have a relationship. That's where the money's at. So 2 things would likely pop in your head as an affiliate owner who's listening to this. Immediate eye roll. I don't got time for that, right? Totally. I agree with you. You don't. That's why you fucking have to charge more money, right? You don't have the time in the space to only charge $150 a month for unlimited CrossFit memberships while trying to provide coaching, because coaching costs hundreds of dollars because you don't have those hours. Right. So if you'd like to get to the point where you're being paid for what you're actually doing, maybe start focusing what it is that you are actually doing differently than what other people in the space are doing. Because every single one of your competitors, compatriots, compadres, et cetera, they're all providing training. That is the universal rule, right? Like if it's a gym, somebody's providing a program, a space, a platform, an ability to do something. And then there's all sorts of things for free out there, whether they be .com or even $30 a month to pay for something like street parking. The workouts aren't important. It's the application of them that is. And so if you want to get to the space where you're making the money, you're going to have to get to the space where you understand what it is that makes you different. And that's your ability to coach. And so to Andrew's point about being a friend, what you have to be able to do is create partnerships and relationships with people, period. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to have personal relationships and become their friend. I know that might have caused some friction in people because, I've had lots of clients that I've believed in a lot that I probably wouldn't have spent a ton of time with just because we don't have a lot in common otherwise, but I still believe in their ability to do great things and especially to do what they've set out to do and they've asked for my help to do.
Yeah, that's a good point. Thanks for clearing that up. I think I just more meant I'm kind of a chameleon as a personality. Like I've been in a lot of different places, and then I just all of a sudden go, all right, well, this is my environment. I'm going to figure out how to fit in and dominate. But yeah, I agree with you on that piece. Go ahead, Lisa.
I think, and also just wanted to touch on what you said was really important there, Tony, is, the value is in the application of that knowledge the application of the answers to the test. And we know that without that belief and without that, and a change in mindset to a more, abundance rather than scarcity, I can't pay my bills, I'm behind on everything, like it's terrible, they're not going to take the action that's going to, implement that. So it's a worthless piece of paper. Like, we know that without those core pieces, which is what really sets us apart, is like, you can, like you said, you can Google the answers, you can, Chat GPT will tell you whatever you need to know. But if you just print it out and keep it in a file on your desk and then don't actually execute because you're riddled with self-doubt, fear, can't, block out intentional time to actually do the work and do the things that scare the fuck out of you, like ask for money, then it's going nowhere. It's that belief piece and that really, and that relationship as a coach that's going to help move forward rather than just having the answers to the test.
I think a real fun example that should probably click for a lot of people is the constant dilemma and the prevalence of the existing CrossFitter walk-in, right? Every affiliate owner faces this. We track all of our clients' scorecards and X number of leads, and it usually looks like, X dollars of new revenue dependent upon, and then no doubt about it, it's like, well, these 3 people, they already had CrossFit experience, so they only pay this part, right? They get much less, so they're paying me less money. I'm like, why? And they're like, well, because they have CrossFit experience. That's a clear tell, right? That right there is a complete hat tip to the entire actual problem and the misunderstanding of training and coaching. If you think that somebody with existing CrossFit experience needs less coaching, you have dramatically missed the mark, right? They, more than anybody, need more coaching. What they don't need is more training, right? They know how to train. They know what standards look like. They know what the points of performance are. They know what the foundational movements are. They probably even understand zone, paleo, macro, you name it. Like, they know that stuff. And you find yourself disarmed. You're like, how do I charge them more money? They already know everything, because it's not about that. It's never been about that, right? This is where I think is a clear observation for people. If you find that when new people come in and they have quote unquote CrossFit experience, you consider them to need to pay you less because they need less, that just shows that the bulk of your model is training, is teaching, is education. And that's okay. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. But if you tell people that you're a coach and you tell them you're going to coach them while giving them training, don't be surprised when you churn them, because you're not giving them the thing that you're saying that you're giving them.
You just made me have a huge epiphany. And this is going to sound very ADD of me, but I had to explain ADD to my wife the other night. It actually made sense. Like, I enjoy multitasking. Sometimes I actually work better in that regards, where I'm listening, thinking. So shout out to the level method. This is not going to be a complete turn, but it will center back to this. So the level method, I've worked, once again, I'm non-biased to anything. Being in the role that I'm in to talk to affiliates, you want to show me something cool, I'm in. But the level method uses the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu belt ranking system for CrossFit. Arguably, that's a better way to scale and implement the methodology than even just saying the word scale. Hey, this is your, I think, 15, 18 tests. Where do you fall? This is a black belt workout. You're in the blue, so you should be doing the blue. I think that CrossFit missed the boat on how quickly we're telling people that they're excellent at fitness. And I think that's what's causing a lot of the issues of training versus coaching. Like, what if legitimately it was like, if you can't power clean 225 and do a 2K and XYZ, like, then you don't get to do this version of the open. Like, what if we made the sport fitness side of it less exclusive, more exclusive.
More inclusive.
Because now this client that you're talking about who came into your gym with CrossFit experience, because we know what you're thinking. Oh, they move well. They know how to squat snatch. They already have a ring muscle up. I need to charge them less. Like, no, actually, they think they're hot shit, which is the pitfall of CrossFit. That's why people think CrossFit in the general fitness, that's why they don't like us. They're like, who gives a shit you can do a ring muscle up? Like, I don't fucking care. And we have to be like, no, but it's really cool, I promise, because I had to work super hard for it, and it counts for a lot of scores in the open. And it's like, no, it doesn't really matter. But I almost wish, like, I think because now I think of those clients where they're like, man, I've been stuck at a blue belt for 4 years. I'd be like, you shouldn't be. So what's going on? And now I coach them, and they're talking to me about their sleep, their nutrition. I'm like, all right, well, our only focus is sleep right now. Let's talk about what are the barriers. And now I'm coaching them to get to that next level. I think we've made the levels too attainable. And Rand.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you went there, because that'll brings you to like the determination of that point, which is, go back to the example of the athlete walks in your gym, right? And so my question to anybody that's listening to this is, who needs more coaching? The person who has never done fitness before in their life, or the person who has exercised every day of their life for the last 8 years, right? Because the answer is very clear. At first, a knee-jerk reaction, you'd be like, oh, the new person, they need more training. They need more teaching. They need more information. They don't even know what a carb is, right? They couldn't tell you what the difference between a Cheerio and an air squat. I think so. That's a completely different game. The person who's 5 or 6 or 8 years into this is all of you guys listening to this. How often are you PRing? How often are you repeating the same things that you're doing, unknowingly doing, not getting the results you want without anybody looking at you being like, hey, why are you doing that still? Right? How often are you engaged in repeat patterns of behavior that are completely subconsciously or obliviously aware to you? You have no idea what you're doing. Most of us don't. That's just the way the brain works. So the average person inside a CrossFit gym, as time increases, the need for coaching increases substantially. The need for training reduces. And this is where the whole dichotomy and the trade-off happens, and why so many affiliates find themselves struggling to keep people after 2, 3, or 4 years, because PRs plateau. All of a sudden, you could look at a barbell and you PR like 13 times, but 3 years into this, you're like, I haven't PR'd in 2 years, right? And it's not about PRs, right? And it's not necessarily about your ability to continually PR. It's that once training is done and the PR's slow, the personal development takes off. And that requires somebody to say, hey, why are you doing that? Right? That requires someone to sit down and say, hey, I've noticed XYZ. How do you feel about that? How would you like to change that? Right? That requires nothing more than, did I really, really, really believe in you? Because I've watched you the last 3 years. You're crushing it. However, we haven't really talked about where we go from here, because everything that you originally came in for, that's checked off. What are you doing with all of this fitness now? What is the point of this thing that you're putting time into? And so the reason I bring that back to that example is that people often find themselves confused about us, right, with FitFilliate, and wondering, well, what if I need to learn? Well, that puts you in the same training camp. We're not trainers. That's your undergrad. This is the joke that I made, right? Well, we are, as people, if you've gotten yourself into business and you're opening and you're functioning and you're thriving and you're transacting and you're operating, you are beyond an on-ramp. You are beyond a beginner. You're in business. Now it takes somebody to not tell you, because the distance between I have an idea and holy shit, I'm in business is cavernous, right? CrossFit made it really, really easy to fill out an application, fill out an essay, and find yourself accidentally in business with no idea how to be there. And that's why there's so many great options out there, like, Two Brain Affiliate U, that are like, hey, this is what it looks like. Even in your toolkit, go in your toolkit and just download the playbook. I'll tell you exactly what it means to be a CrossFit affiliate. But the distance between I have an idea and execution is directly attributed to how motivated you are to bring something novel into the world. No great affiliate ever just popped up because they're just like, hey, I want to copy the one down the street. Lots of affiliates did pop up doing just that, but I said great affiliates, right? I'm talking to the people who were like, I want to take this thing and do this thing with it, to do this for these people with it, and to help people like this. And I don't know what that looks like because it's different for every person. And so back to your point, Andrew, about like where CrossFit kind of got it wrong. I think CrossFit got it really, really, really right. The affiliates got it all wrong. Right? I think CrossFit, I think HQ, I think the training department absolutely nailed their end of the deal, their end of the bargain. They told you exactly what you needed to be able to teach and tell people to make them effective. Leaving it up to the affiliate owners to then decide how they would like to apply that was always the model by design. And they are like, what? I don't know what to do with my hands over here, right? So what do they try to do? They just try to train everybody. But CrossFit has always been free. .com has always been free. That's not what you guys are selling, but that's what happened. 17,000 affiliates pop up and they're like, we sell CrossFit. Fuck you do. Good luck, right? Because like it's free. You can do it anywhere you can find an open space and a heavy rock to pick up, right? The thing that you sell is belief. You sell coaching. You sell transformation. You sell inspiration. You sell motivation. You sell conversation, relationship, all these things. Most affiliate owners are like, oh, yeah, we don't do a whole lot of that part of it, right? And so on that side of it, that's why FitFilliate is designed the way that it is, though, is that we know you're a higher level CrossFit athlete, so to speak, in your fitness journey. So if you're in business, I don't need to spend time teaching you more things, because if I do, that's just like you going back and trying to teach a high level CrossFit athlete a different methodology. That's not worth it. It's better to look at what they're doing and eliminate what's not working so that they can be successful.
And I think it's that having that, some of that value is the outside perspective of why you're doing that. Like you told me you wanted to get a 225 snatch, for example, but you cherry pick snatch days. Yeah. And you cherry pick those days and you're not doing any of the shoulder mobility stuff and you just come in and when we do 1 rep maxes, like why is the other stuff the struggle for you? Like why are you not repeating the successful actions that you know that are going to get you there? And you just want that. Just tell me how to get a 225 snatch. Well, how's your life going to be different when you get that? Like you're not instantly going to be, we know that they're not instantly going to be, cooler or successful or in life or anything, but why does that matter to you? And that's the coaching piece is, okay, well, if you're running your affiliate business and you want to put an ice cream stand in the corner, cool. If you can tell us why that's important, how that's going to make your life tangibly better and move you towards that big end goal that you've told us about, we will run into that fire with you. But if you can't tell us that,
maybe not fire and ice cream because it will melt.
Yeah, or ruin the model. But like we will go on that journey and okay, that's your dream, because every affiliate's journey, and that's one of the beautiful things about our clients, every single client's journey is unique and different, which is why we celebrate the affiliate model and want to protect it, because every affiliate is unique and amazing. And it's not just here's a template that works.
And the challenge in the charge I have for affiliates is to protect that. You need to watch what you're asking for. You do. You need to watch what you're asking for. Hey, I want CrossFit to do X, Y, Z. You guys don't do this. You guys don't do that. And it's like, hey, I'm here listening to you. Okay. As someone who's done this, you've worked inside of CrossFit, affiliate, everything you can imagine, like hearing you, but the answer to your problem, it's like some devil shit, really. Like he's messing with your head. Hey, Dad, I'm just so mad. I want you to do the X, Y. Okay, so this is then you want a franchise model. No, absolutely. It's like, hold on. That's what you asked for. So we're here to protect that. It's so funny because, it's honestly the most beautiful small business you can think of. Low barrier to entry. Do these kind of bare minimum things, and hopefully you do well. Like arguably, now I will say this. This is what a lot of owners, and actually me and Lisa talked about this. Tony, you should listen to that podcast. It was a good one. Me and Lisa talked about this. It's like on side hustles and things like that. Like I do agree. I think things have changed since 2012, 2013. Whenever you started your affiliate, if you started back then when I did, or I was 2015, things are different. Like, yes, there are people making TikTok videos, making 150K a month. And you wake up every day going like, I'm just here to make sure these 3 members who are causing drama don't leave today. and I'm still broke. Like we get that. I know the world has changed, but then you need to evolve with it. And how you do that is you hire a coach. You hire a coach, you get inspired. Shout out to the school group. Microdose learning. Microdose it. Like that's what technology has allowed us to do. So just make sure that you're getting some of that.
And it's the theory of, building a tribe and a community, which is, our Fit Founders League on school, is, people like us do things like this. So someone can come into that and go, oh, you've been exposed to the generic way of thinking, which is like the group think, the Facebook groups. Should I buy this floor scrubber? Should I stock this sort of drink? Da, da, da. Then you get in the school group, you're like, oh, this is a different way of thinking, and having those open conversations where people will talk about, be open to vulnerability and talking about things like that. And it's like, oh, this is a different way of thinking. And none of these people are complaining about being, poor. And that's how we lift the standard for everybody, as being able to embrace that thinking and provide that space.
The Founders League aside, I think we jumped on that one. I want to go back to Andrew's example of talking to his affiliate owners in terms of, I need more leads, right? Why? I need this, I need that, and getting into figuring out what it is. What's fun about that conversation, which leads us back to really why there's an important distinction in training versus coaching, and that is what we define as the difference between memetics and ecology, right? The vast majority of people, all people, for the most part, are drawn towards memetics, copying other things, right? Their idea of success or otherwise is already predetermined and laid out in front of them. They would like to have or obtain some degree of this socially identifiable definition of success. And so more often than not, that leads them into all sorts of crazy things: buying the house, doing the thing, spending the money, acquiring this, buying that, yada, yada, yada. Right. So that's one part of the financial part of it. But the better part of that it's fun to listen to is how we even got distracted with leads in the first place. Because in the epochs of CrossFit, pre-2017, 2018, leads weren't a huge part of the conversation. In fact, I don't think I could have probably put together 10 affiliate owners and 2 of them would have told me what a lead was. And if they did, they would have probably argued over what the hell that was. Today, I can't go into any room with an affiliate owner without hearing about it, wishing for it, talking about it, or otherwise. The way we mostly come about information or inspiration in this world is through memetics. And what that really means is marketing. We are sold our ideas for profit. And people have to understand this. As somebody who sits on the other side of that and quote unquote could sell and should sell ideas and inspiration, you have to understand everything right down to the wedding ring you bought your wife and how much you spent on it was sold to you by marketing, right? Because before De Beers, there was no idea that you need to put aside 1 month, 2 months. I think it's 3 months of your income now to buy the ring, right? Like that's all a construct of marketing. So, leads are too, because the thing is, it's good marketing. It's good sales. Hey, you need more money. Everybody's like, oh, yes, sir. I definitely would like, because you could buy this and this. And you're like, yeah. And so they start on that path. And then before they even achieve that path, they already started on the path of what they're going to do with the money. They start acquiring the stuff, buying the stuff, living the lifestyle before they've even checked the box. But I don't really want to talk that much about that part of it, because there's a behavioral construct that's present in there too, which is the hero victim mindset. Right. And this goes back to what Andrew was saying, that every time you get on the phone, what's HQ doing? What's HQ doing? Right. The reason why FitFilliate is built the way that it is that we have to put belief back in the affiliate owner. It's so easy. It would be so easy for us to perpetuate the belief in us and other people, right? Because all of us are pre-wired to live in the victim mindset and believe that all the answers are in somebody else's control. All the situations, circumstances are outside of my control. Because to step out of the victim and to step into the hero role that we would all like to be in our life, the first thing you have to accept is that you're the villain. You've kept yourself in that victim role this whole time. Once you understand that, then you can step outside of it, and then you can take belief back, and you can start being the hero in your own story. You get to have agency back. You get to have control, choice, creativity, freedom, all the great stuff that everybody's after. But everybody likes to sit in the victim role and be like, who moved my cheese? They want to know who put anything where it was supposed to be, and when is mine coming? When is HQ going to solve this for me? Right? And that's never really been the thing. Unfortunately, HQ kind of opened their mouth and like, guys, we're going to do it for you. And everybody's like, thank you. And now look at how quick everybody was like, I'm going to listen to what HQ's doing. Right? And so
you can't have agency without a coach. When you're in the freeze mindset, people are always in fight, flight, or flee. Fight, flight, or freeze. And when you're struggling, or if you're listening to this in your car or whatever, and you're like, man, this is really relating, you're in the freeze mode. And to be unthawed with that, to get agency back, that is what you need as a coach. Also, I don't want people like, there's this, I'm pretty much Twitter famous at this point for have nothing to do with fitness. Crypto Fit. You want to follow me? I don't need any more followers to be monetized, but by all means. But this one guy, he's in the crypto niche market. He had a tweet the other day or post, and he's like, if you plan to retire at 100 million, you're never going to retire. He's like, because what it took you to get to 100 million, that's not the type of people who get to 100 million. That means you're competitive. That means you're driven. That means that now it doesn't mean that you're an asshole. It just means that number's arbitrary. So, and what I want to understand is like, you need someone to tell you sometimes to kickstart your agency. Like, why do I still do really cool things in fitness? Why do I personally? Well, I have kids. Like in what you just said, the hero villain. Like I can either sit and watch my boys and girl look at some other person and be like, wow, that guy's really cool, or good for him for dunking a basketball, or wow, that guy beat that guy up in the jiu-jitsu tournament, or I can be that guy. And so I will do whatever it takes to continue to be that guy. And now that's agency, but I've had to dig really deep for that because I've been frozen. I've felt uninspired. And luckily, I have friends and people, like you guys, to where they get you thinking. And I don't know. I mean, sometimes that's worth more than money.
Well, I think if nothing else, it was the thing that we set out to do because it was the thing that we knew that they needed, right? People needed, especially in the business space. And this is not an affiliate owner problem, right? This is just as common in many industries outside of this. And so I think that, and I've tried to say that a handful of times on this podcast. Yes, you guys are affiliate owners. We speak affiliate owner, but it's not that you guys are flawed or broken or the model's broken. It's just that you're the audience. So we speak your language, right? But this podcast is directed towards dentists, doctors, chiropractors, et cetera. It'd be the same thing. Insert chiropractic instead of affiliate owner, because at the core of this whole thing is the thing that is the truth that everybody's trying to avoid. We're all humans, which means we're all the victims of our own behavior, both good and bad. And while it might seem logical to go after information and advice to solve the problem, you must first step back and say, hey, what is it that I'm trying to avoid by seeking this information or this advice, right? Because at the end of the day, at some point, you have to say, what do I have to change about me to be successful? Okay? And if you're not willing to have that conversation, you're not going to make it here with us. And that's one of the things that I screen for is your ability to be like, well, it turns out everybody was the asshole. So I think I realized I'm the asshole. So that's why I'm here. Right? Like, I know that I need to really address that behavior. And the problem with layering on more and more information is that layers on the complexity and the mimetic, so to speak, to the point where everybody ends up very, very distracted, right? They're after all sorts of other different things by design. Because if I can just stay focused on all the extrinsic stuff, I don't have to focus on the me stuff. And that is an easy way to guarantee that you'll always stay right in the victim spot. Like, you can acquire all the information you want, but you're never going to move from victim to hero without first getting into belief. And there's not many victims who believe in themselves.
But also, Tony, you're never going to feel like a hero. I'm here to tell you that right now.
Well, that's the point of every one of those movies. They all felt like their whole life was falling apart until they were like, wait a minute, these laser beams in my eyes can actually be used for good, because every time I blink, I'm burning the house down.
And that's the fun. That's kind of what that guy's post is saying. Like, no matter what I do, I'm trapped in the saga of it's not enough. And, this isn't about me. It's just, I know my personality. So I could wake up and tell you what's going on because I've connected with agency. but it doesn't necessarily make it easier. Like it's you. So I think a hero it's a false sense of existence too. Now, being the victim though is your default, and that's what you said. You actually don't know, but if we can get you to realize that victim is your default, because a true hero, I mean, man, like it's such an interesting thing, because what truly makes you the hero? You hit it.
At the end of the day, it's just the cliche, right? Like, what is the cliche of the hero? They save the day.
Yes. And what'd you do? You hit your financial independence number. You hit your.
It doesn't even really need to be that you flew out of the sky, came through, saved the kids in the burning building. It's just you saved the day, right?
Yeah.
To be the hero in your life means to save today, and that means to save tomorrow, and it means to save the next day. So many people time travel into their future and into their past. They don't save today. And the victim is always time traveling. They're forward, they're backward, they're never here, and they're never. It's kind of like the post I made in the Founders League this morning or yesterday, whatever day that was, in regards to the daily intention. Part of becoming the hero means setting the daily intention to save the day, right? And you get to decide each day what saving that day looks like, because it's not always the same, right? Some days it's a cat in a tree, some days it's just save yourself. But agency is a big part of it. But agency, the point of working with people in business, all businesses, but not just affiliate owners, but specifically affiliate owners, is that the work you seek to do ideally seeks to create a legacy. You would like to leave the world better than you found it as an affiliate owner. That's why you signed up to do this. You'd like to save and change and fix all of these lives. It's the altruistic approach. To do that, I need you to believe in yourself. In order to do that, we have to put agency back in your hand. I know you want to buy the answers. You would like to buy the answers to the test, so to speak, and to abdicate the responsibility through that, because that would feel safer to you. Because nobody, watch any hero movie you want, they do not want to put that costume on the first time, right? It's scary, right? Because to step into belief in yourself takes one big piece of it, which is, whoa, if I'm the hero, no one's coming to save me. I'm here to save other people. And if you're an affiliate owner, you are here to save countless people. So the first thing that has to happen is you got to put that mask on. You've got to put that outfit on. And to do that, you got to believe in yourself. And that's why the FitFilliate model is built the way that it is that we can give belief back to even just a handful of you guys. The rest of the affiliates will start to get proud to put their spandex on.
I think that this just took a weird turn, clearly spandex, but I think that the hard thing for us, and we know this, but the hard thing about, for us at FitFilliate is someone's coming in, they're already burnt out, they're in freeze mode, they're broke, and they're like, I don't have the time to work on me when I need to make rent. And they're in that scarcity. Is like, yeah, I could be my own hero, but fuck, I just got to make rent. Like, how do I get 50 more people in here today? And that's a tricky part, because they're like, oh yeah, it's all, woo woo and airy fairy and all like work on me and stuff like that. But I just got to pay rent. So my question is, to either of you, is if someone's sitting there, they're sitting in their car and that's how they're feeling, like, yeah, this is all well and good, guys, but I'm going to make fucking rent in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Like, how can, all the talk we've done about belief, and we know that's important, is move somebody from that point to being receptive to understanding that this has a way bigger return on investment than me telling you, run a promotion to get some leads.
I got it. Sorry, Tony. Too quick. It's like I'm
Andrew's on the buzzer.
Yeah. So, and I know we don't give advice, but I'm going to present a situation. If you're listening to this in your car and that's where you're at, the fact that you're in your car, first of all, like, where are you going? Right? What are you going to do? Because what I would tell you to do is turn that car around, go buy a big piece of paper, walk into a coffee shop, and write on the big piece of paper. Sorry, can you hear me? Something weird happened to my computer.
Can hear you. Yep. Just to witness.
Maybe you can't hear us.
No.
Okay.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yep.
On that big sheet of paper, write CrossFit's not dangerous. Let me buy you a coffee and tell you why. Sit in a chair and see how many people come up to you and have a conversation. I heard CrossFit. Example. Crazy. But you, where are you going? Well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to that. That's not serving your purpose. Use the brand of CrossFit. People are like, CrossFit doesn't have a brand. They don't do anything. No, we've made it. You maybe aren't just using it right. I don't care that people think it's really dangerous and hard and scary. Tell them differently. If I literally went and did that right now at Dawn Donuts, right across the street, probably not Dawn, I'd probably go to this new place, Parlor Donuts. They're apparently sponsoring this event that I'm not supposed to be in this room for. I would literally get so many conversations, connections. I'd actually feel like my own hero because I'm like, holy shit, I just changed that person's mind and they're coming to do a free trial. Like, you're not doing enough because you're looking to blame. And I don't mean that in a rude way.
Happy you brought up that example.
Go ahead.
Because it highlights perfectly why advice won't work. Right? Because you're absolutely right, 100%. Why don't you just walk down the street, knock on the doors? Why don't you just put things up? Why don't you just talk? Why don't you just go to the grocery store and hang out there for 3 hours? Why don't you just do all those things? Because back to Lisa's question, which is, yeah, totally get everything you're saying, but like, I don't have time to work on me. I got to pay rent. Right? Okay. Repeat that for me. I gotta pay rent. Who else is paying rent? Nobody. You are. You're the one on the bottom line. No matter what, you're the last person. So there is no other option. No one's coming to save you. You have to save you. So you don't have time to not spend time on yourself. And no matter what solution comes down that pipeline, because I can tell you with one Google, with one ChatGPT, with one harebrained idea, you can solve all your problems. You will immediately follow that with, I couldn't do that, right? Just to Andrew's point, write that down. Immediately, your knee-jerk reaction is like, oh my God, I would be so embarrassed doing that. What if somebody actually sat down? Yeah, they would actually sit down and solve your freaking problem, right? That's why you are the center of all of your problems. We seek all these ideas and things, but what do? What we're doing is not being honest with ourselves, because what we want to do is filter and self-select for comfort. We want to sort all the ideas of inspiration and find, ooh, I'll do that one, discard the rest. Ooh, I'll do that one, discard the rest, right? And so you're left with this handful of hodgepodge ideas, be like, can I put this together into a system that works? Sometimes yes, most of the time no, right? Just like all of your clients who are just like, they want to self-select for Fraser's program and street parking and this and that, and they want to put them all together and be like, I built the perfect program. No, you didn't. You built the comfortable program, right? If you went through there and you said, what is all the stuff in here I can't do? And you did that, I'd probably be like, bold move. Let's see how it works out for you. But if you went through and you self-selected for comfort, it's not it. So to your point, Lisa, you do have your back against the wall. But here's the thing. You've probably been in business for 1, 2, 10 years. And it's probably not the first time you find your back against the wall. So that means before you go looking for more answers to solve the problem again and repeating unsuccessful actions, or the whole definition of insanity, right? Expecting different results. Let's break the cycle. And that cycle looks like, it doesn't have to be whimsical or therapeutic or getting into childhood traumas. It's hey, what is it about these type of ideas that speak to you, while these type of ideas scare you, right? Because maybe we need to work on what you're afraid of with somebody sitting down with you at that coffee shop, right? Like, let's work on that. Because if we know that there's 400 people in that coffee shop, most of them look like they need fitness, and you're an attractive person and you seem pretty inviting and you know how to talk to people because you do it all day long for hundreds of people, why wouldn't you do that, right? But then we can get into being like, oh, well, because I'm afraid. I'm like, okay, let's just not worry about what you're going to talk to them about. Let's let them talk to you, right? Because that's all that's going to have to happen. You're afraid that they're going to sit down and you won't know what to say. Maybe you don't need to say anything. Why don't you just ask them questions? Let them talk, because everybody wants to talk about themselves. So the point is, Andrew's example was perfect, right? But it's also why advice doesn't work. And while every affiliate owner is out there spending tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars on answers, all of which are overlooking this idea that, like, if I can just get the better answers, I'll become a better person. You're going to self-select for comfort because you're a human.
Absolutely. Love it.
Yep. And I think that's probably a good note to stick a pin in this one.
Stick a pin. Wow, we went through one question, an hour. Lisa, one prompt got us an hour.
Speaking of people who like to talk about themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually love not talking about ourselves.
But I think that there's been some gold dropped and some thought-provoking insight. So if you are an affiliate owner, you are listening
next
to this.
Next week, we're going to all wear spandex.
Next week, we're going to do this live on YouTube so people can chat. That would be unique. That would be fun.
Just keep it below the shirt. But please give us a follow on the Instagram at FitFilliate, and all the links are in the show notes to our Fit Founders League on School. That if you don't know where to start or everything seems beyond you, start there. Otherwise, we've got links to book a consult and you can talk to lovely Tony. And
if this episode gets 20,000 likes on YouTube, Lisa will show up in spandex next week.
I'm very safe on that then. And then our views will rapidly drop the week after till
nonsense.
All right, boys. Thank you.
See you guys.
Ciao.